Hi, it's Kristie Amobi from Rebalan, and the purpose of this video is to try to dispel the myths around edibles, that edibles are scary, that edibles are dangerous, that edibles do not have a controlled dose, that edibles hit you harder, that edibles just basically are very risky. There are a number of ways to consume cannabis. If you have read our guides, then you're familiar with the two basic forms of administration. One is smoking cannabis, and I use that term very broadly. When you smoke or vaporize cannabis, the effects are going to hit you much stronger and much faster. When you ingest cannabis, and again, I use that term also very broadly, when you ingest cannabis, basically means putting anything into your mouth, then those effects are going to be much more gradual. The rate of onset is much more steady state, and the effects of the cannabis are going to last much longer. This form of administration, oral administration of cannabis, is very effective for this reason. Because of the gradual rate of onset and the longer lasting effects, you're going to be able to get a very pronounced state of relaxation, and it's going to last a while. So this is great for consuming cannabis as a substitute to alcohol, potentially just take the edge off after work, or if you're having trouble sleeping, you can take a low dose of cannabis prior to going to bed, and it's going to produce a state of relaxation and keep you asleep for much longer. Now, one of the things that people talk about with edibles is the awful edible stories. You've probably heard one of these from your neighbor, family member, someone from college, or maybe you've experienced this yourself. This would be where you consume cannabis, typically in high doses. These are usually unlabeled. You maybe have taken this cannabis in form of an oral administration. Maybe you took a pot brownie and you thought to yourself, I wonder, this doesn't seem to be working. I think I'll have another bite. And the reason why it doesn't seem to be working is because in the oral administration of cannabis, that I was just talking about is going to be a much more gradual rate of onset. It could take up to 2 hours, sometimes even 3, for you to feel the full effects of cannabis. So this is important to start low and slow, and to really ensure that you do not continue to titrate your dose. This is going to create an environment where you are uncomfortable. You are going to start to feel the effects of the cannabis in a very pronounced way if you keep adding doses. So we don't want that to happen. We want you to have maximum control. And in states now where cannabis is legal, whether it's for medical purposes or recreational purposes, there are labeling guidelines that do govern the development of products, and product manufacturers do need to adhere to these guidelines. So the important thing about taking edibles in low doses is that you closely read labels and that you understand what you're taking. When I talk about low doses, I'm talking about less than 5 milligrams of THC. Personally, I think if you're just getting started, you want to go even lower, 2 to 3 milligrams of THC, or potentially even try a product that has 0 THC, something that's potentially just offering you a product that is rich in CBD. Now, if you want to continue to monitor the dose, that's very important. Maybe in low doses, you need to have a little bit more. This is something that is also good with edibles because edibles allow you to easily titrate the dose. So if, for example, one day you try a 2.5 milligram dose of THC, it doesn't produce the effect that you want, perhaps you want something stronger, then the following day or the following week, you can simply take 2 doses. This is a great way to titrate your cannabis consumption. The other thing that I think is worth pointing out is that in low doses, you're going to be able to mitigate any kind of variability, right? So for example, there have been some studies that have shown that the products are not, maybe their dosing is off by 10 to 20%. Well, if you're consuming 100 milligrams per dose, 10 or 20% off is a big deal. If you're consuming 2 milligrams of THC per dose, 10 to 20% off in terms of that THC content is rather trivial. It's not going to really meaningfully affect your experience negatively one way or the other. If you have any questions, please always feel free to reach out to us. As you can tell, I'm a very big proponent of edibles, especially in low doses, as a way to take the edge off and to produce a really sound night's sleep.